Check it out. This is Mr. Len, the grand alien, Len, Space Ghost, watching the beat shine. I was born in the Bronx. I lived in Brooklyn lived in the baby projects in Brooklyn for a lot of years, moved out to Jersey. It's like I always was in neighborhoods where you hear hip hop, and it was just one of those things you're just kind of drawn to it. Everybody's listening to it. It's the in thing, but it was you play different roles in it. Some people want to rap. Like I remember I used to try and break a little bit, but there was something about DJing. Like I guess it was about crowd control, or being able to keep people busy for more than 5 minutes. And it was just something that called to me. I would listen to the radio. You hear Red Alert, you hear Marley. You hear all the DJs that was doing stuff at the time. I was like, man, I want to be able to rock on the radio like that, and be able to say like this song is hot, and and play those joints. So it was just something that always appealed to me. There was this dude. He was signed to Def Jam. Me and my cousin used to trade comic books with him. His name was the Don. He had this song called "I Was All the Way In There," and I know the Don don't remember me. It was like this is like years and years and years ago. But hearing that he got signed was like, oh my God, like it can happen, and it's not like Don wasn't whack, but like Don wasn't Rakim either, So it was dope. Then I had cousins that used to always go to the parties, and I had a cousin that DJ for the Red Bandit, and I was like, yo, this is like I can get in, like I can do this. Like if they're doing it, it's. I know I can make it. Like it wasn't like it wasn't so much about being rich, and like it was about I want to be on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to be good enough that people didn't boo me. So that was like the driving force. And like when you see that, especially like in the Bronx, where hip hop came from, like it's a whole nother. It's a whole nother feeling, a whole nother story. My first turntable was a sound design turntable. It was one of the ones like where it plays 78s, and you could like preload a record. So I used to always have to bypass that to get the record on. I had that. I had a realistic mixer, and my other turntable was a Hitachi that I took from my grandmother's her sound system or whatever. My first amp was a Bogan amp. It had tubes in it. And I had the speakers from the sound design, from the sound design system, and then me and my cousins used to make speakers so that we could do parties. So those were the first things that I had. Then I moved up in the world to Audio Technicas, which was the horrible knockoffs of Technic 1200s, and I still had that Gemini. I had the realistic mixer, then I went over to the Gemini Trickmaster. And even when I was doing Fun Crusher, I still didn't actually own my own set of turntables. Like I was in a crew, and we used to, move the equipment from house to house. So like, there it is. It was about whatever party was rocking that day. And I used to go up in other people's parties and just get on the set and like go through their records, be like, yo, I'm gonna rock for like half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, and just rock somebody else's party, turn that shit out and leave. And like, being a tough act to follow made me the shit, So I never really looked at it as like, oh, I gotta get my name out. It was more or less like, if there's a bunch of people in the room, like I gotta rock them, Sometimes I still feel that way, and like it's a natural reaction to anybody that does this actually for the love. Like, of course I want the money, but there's a lot of us, and at heart that's what we are, and I don't think I'll ever stop being that way. My family is actually really supportive. Of course, at first, like your parents are like, maybe you should finish school, I didn't start touring until I was sophomore, junior in college. And after that, like, it just was something that I kind of eased into. But my parents was like, hey man, if this is what you're gonna do, just make sure that you got yourself covered, like don't come to me asking for money later, like because you got your nose dirty or whatever, so. But for the most part, man, my parents was with it. They was just like, if this is what you're gonna do it, and just do it right. There's contemporaries that look like, oh man, maybe he's not that dope, and like I walk around with that chip on my shoulder all the time, especially like by the time like I really started doing it, I'm already living in Jersey, so I'm looked at as like, oh, you just one of them Jersey cats, and you wear all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, when you're from Brooklyn, you rep Brooklyn. When you're from Queens, you rep Queens. When you're from Jersey, you rep the entire state. I can't be like, I'm from Hillside or I'm from Newark. Like, people don't care about that. It's like, oh, you're a Jersey head. So like Jersey people, we rep the whole state, and like the last thing you want to do is go out and make your whole state look bad. And that's one of the heaviest loads, man. Like, are you doing enough that people don't hate you, or people don't be like, oh man, he's making us look bad, and you just can't be out there playing all kinds of candy coated bullshit, like you being really true to who you are, but still going for the gusto, like it can be quite a conundrum sometimes where you realize if I play that Puffy record, everybody will love me, but in my heart, if I don't love that record, I'm not gonna play it. So, not giving in and not being not worrying about being totally accepted, is probably something that, especially for a DJ, where everyone's like, well, you're supposed to rock for, you're supposed to play everything. I'm not supposed to do shit. I'm supposed to play music that's dope, and I'm supposed to play things that maybe you didn't know and now you do, or I'm supposed to play music that I know is great and play artists that wouldn't normally get shine, and like I'm gonna give those artists that shine. I'm gonna play that record, and maybe you'll love it. If you don't, hey, you can get in your car and listen to the radio the same way everybody else can. I got classic scratches on the hip hop record. When I go places and people will sing the scratches, the end-to-end burners, like that's like the best feeling in the world to me, because it's like when you listen to DJ Premier, he got classic scratches on records. Same thing with DJ Scratch, same thing with Evil D, and like for me to be one of those people now, like when people come to me, they're like, dance to the rhythm of rhyme, my cold flow, like I'm like, damn, I got that off, so like that's one of my favorite things about being who I am. I want people to remember me for being funky, I want to leave a legacy of funk, Everything that I did, like I want to say that, like, I want people to feel like it was done with class, it was done with respect to your intelligence, it was done out of a true love for the music. I didn't do it as a money grab, like even my money grabs are still respectful, like it's the legacy that I feel like I'm leaving is one of somebody that stuck to it, even when people were saying it was played out, when people would stop using DJs, like I'm one of those guys that kept it alive. And like when you went to a live show and you heard the DJ spinning, those turntables was on, and I was back there and I was rocking them shits. If it was my cuts, if it was cuts that I filled in for, like every now and then I would do things in place of Boogie Blind, and like that guy sets the bar real fucking high. So like for me to be able like to do my version of like his scratches is dope to me. If I was like DJing for a group that like you didn't even know I was affiliated with, being able to turn their show into something that was memorable for them and for the people that was there that night, that's what I want.